The Shure Aonic Free are not for everyone. That's pretty much this video. There is some more nuance to be added to that statement though, so be sure to stick around. Goedendag, we're DHRME. Distracted humans reviewing multimedia equipment. So look, you don't get wireless earbuds for the best sound quality. If you just want sound, you get yourself wired IEMs or headphones. It's just that simple. So why get wireless earbuds?
So when we unboxed the Shure Aonic Free, well, that did something to our brains. When you review earbuds, you have a certain standard of what wireless earbuds should look like. And our first impression of the case was this was a protective box in which we'd find the case and buds. But buds, this was not the case. This case was just the case with the buds. Putting this in the pocket might get you stopped by the cops or reported for inappropriate bulges. Nothing says welcome to 2017 like this case. Technically this is portable, but come on, you can hardly fit this in most jean pockets, and despite the size, the case feels flimsy and light and not substantial like the Bose Murder Buds. You know, we made quite a lot of jokes about the Bose Quiet Comfort Buds case that were released a couple of years ago because they were ginormous. But this case eclipses that one. And you know, with Bose, you can be a bit forgiving. For that case size in 2019, you got what was essentially the best noise cancelling on earbuds in the business, even up to today. But the Aonic Free buds don't even do ANC. The buds themselves look okay. Kevin thinks they're an acquired taste, and I think they look nice, like a small piece of candy. But we both agree that these buds are also massive. They're also a fingerprint magnet and need to be wiped down every so often. Interestingly, when you first look at these buds, you may be forgiven for thinking that these buds have a touch surface. No, they just have a button up top on each bud. I first thought this was strange and it sounds a bit springy, the button, and not very well made. But the more I use it, the more convenient this feels. They can also be used for controlling things like volume, hear through, and even muting phone calls. And speaking of phone calls, let's test the microphones and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Skip to the conclusion if you don't want to sit through the calls. Shure Aonic Free, quiet conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sony WF-1000XM4, quiet conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sennheiser True Wireless CX Plus, quiet conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Shure Aonic noisy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sony WF-1000XM4 noisy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sennheiser CX Plus, noisy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Shure Aonic Free, windy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sony WF-1000XM4, windy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sennheiser CX Plus, windy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, testing, 1. All of them are fairly clear in quiet conditions, but the CX Plus and the Shure are generally the loudest, and it's also the case in noisy conditions. The Sony has the most aggressive noise cancelling and tries to eliminate a lot of background noise, but sometimes misses some of the caller's voice, whereas the CX and Shure both go down the same route of just pumping in all the sound while continuing to be loud. Which approach you prefer depends on you. This is the same approach these buds also take in the wind, and with Shure we thought they were fairly usable in the wind. So you should not have a problem using these buds on phone calls.
And what about the other features? No wireless charging, no in-ear sensor, no IP rating, forget about multi-device. But device switching works well. Just select from the second device and you are connected. No need to pause or disconnect from the first device. There's no automatic power off if you leave it connected. Also, this uses a primary-secondary architecture with a twist. The bud you take first out of the case becomes the primary bud, so if you put that one back, the other bud loses connection. Battery life is also ordinary for this size and the fact that you don't have ANC. You get 7 hours on the case using the AAC codec. These come with 3 Comply tips in the box, really good quality tips, so not the hybrid foam tips that Sony uses, but from Comply, the tip manufacturers themselves. No silicone tips unlike the Aonic 215. And that's a shame because we are silicone people in general. But these tips seal well, provide good passive isolation to compensate for the lack of ANC, and can be comfortable if you can find the right size. And you know everyone's ears are different, so your mileage may vary. But some of the downsides of the Comply tips are related to their longevity. They tend to fall apart from a lot of heavy use. Back to the buds though, the fact that these buds are light also helps with comfort. The transparency feature called environment mode also works, and it's alright, but it does produce a lot of white noise. Since these buds don't have an open design, it's kinda uncomfortable to talk a lot while wearing them, since you will notice the occlusion effect without the environment mode. There are no pressure relieving vents to help you deal with this.
But what I really like is the nozzle that the tips nestle into. It lets you go deep and get a very good, consistent sound. Now let's talk about what the Shure brand is all about. Sound. They sound pretty good. Very neutral. I mean, they have Jacob Collier in their ads. Okay, that means nothing, but still, Jacob Collier, big fan. The idea of these buds being is from a brand that musicians use is that you will be listening to music like how the artists intended it to be heard. The best way to describe the sound is there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. These add absolutely nothing to your music, and I found them to be quite analytical, and that can also translate to bland. And they have good high quality EQ in the app, and for EQing, neutral is a good place to start. If I want to have fun, the Shure Play app gives me the loudness preset, transporting me to a fun V-shaped sound, which is a good starting point, and the edit tab allows me to tweak the EQ even more down to the exact frequency, gain, and Q factor. Timbre sound good, natural, bass is present even though it doesn't extend all the way to the lowest of low ends. Not for you bass monsters out there. As an earbud manufacturer, you have to sometimes make choices. You can make your buds super bassy or bright or super wide or focus on mids. Shure always chooses to go right down the middle. But here's the thing, these use aptX, not aptX HD, not aptX adaptive, and certainly not aptX lossless. So despite good drivers and a nice tuning, you're losing some resolution and detail, which will be below what you can get from any of the better aptX codecs or LDAC. So for me, I choose these buds to mix audio rather than to really enjoy music. Although the dynamic EQ preset is a good place to start for a fun sound.
So who are these buds for? Well, I'm not sure. The price is pretty high for the feature set and design. You can find the latest prices in this description and use the links to buy anything you want, not just these earbuds. This will help support our channel to make more free content for you guys. So if you want buds where neutral sound, comfort, passive seal, and decent calls are a priority, then these might be for you. But why would you buy these buds instead of the many other buds out there at much lower prices? And if portability is not an issue, why not buy headphones or wired IEMs or the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds? What alternatives would we suggest? Think of the Sennheiser CX Plus earbuds, also from a big audio brand but with okay ANC to boot. And why not Big Chungus itself, the Bose Quiet Comfort buds? Best ANC in the business with fairly decent sound. Or the Sony WF-1000XM4 or the Technics EAH AZ60. And hey, save some money and buy the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro or the Edifier NeoBuds Pro for a spicier sound. And some of the best value is to be had from the older buds, Galaxy Buds Pro, Sony WF-1000XM3, or the cheaper brands like Earfun, One More, Soundpeats. But again, I know people for whom neutral audio is so important that they don't care about anything else. Or they're sure about Shure and unsure about everything else. Are you that person? You've been pondering your neutrality, and we've been DHRME. Namaste.